Hey, hey.
I
I see, like,
like, oh my gosh, where is it?
and I know, like, I realized when I ended the last meeting, like, Renee was saying something, so I was like,
Oh, sorry, Renee.
hey, we got something to do. Um, so we're live on YouTube.
Oh, hi.
Did you send your mom the link?
Yes, I did. So, hi, Mom.
We got four people. We got four people watching. So
Hi,
let's
my family.
get this started. Um, so the live recording will get edited. So all this fun banter beforehand will get edited out. But hey, world. I'm Brandon. Who are you?
Carrie. I'm Carrie. Hi.
Welcome to our fourth edition of the Trio Show. As we go forward, we thought we are going to do this thing scheduled, but life happens. Um, I looked at
Does.
today's schedule for today. I will be in Zoom meetings all day. It's
Wow.
fun. But again, just our same big reminders. Please, y'all, use your HC emails. I really can't respond to these emails from blackanddecker@gmail.com. I know students have weird
I
emails.
agree. No, I agree with
Um,
that.
we got a few grade 8 apps, but please do your grade 8 applications, engage on discussion boards. I really want to shout out Jandra Smith. She came through my drop-in yesterday and she was like, you didn't respond to my discussion board post. And I go look at it, I was like, oh, you got a UB. So I just want to give her a shout out.
Oh,
um, Down
wow.
University of Baltimore, their human services program. um, so when we post that we have drop-in times, if you don't want to do schedule appointments, come talk to us. We really want to engage. We miss seeing y'all faces. I really do miss seeing y'all faces.
I
I
do
may not
too.
act like
And
it. I do. Um,
and I have
Carrie,
dropped
you got any
in for
updates for us?
anybody who's looking. Yeah, if anybody's looking for that writing time, just to look at what you're doing, or if you have questions about an assignment, we're doing a lot of extra writing, I'm sure, right now, just because that's how we're communicating. You can come to my personal Zoom, and that's on our SSS Canvas page, Tuesdays from 3 to 4, although today it's 3:30, and now Thursdays from 3 to 4 as well. So if you need me, let me know. I have some other times in there you can get in, that's posted on Starfish.
And oh yeah, and don't forget about your email workshop.
Oh yeah, it's very mini. It's 15 minutes long. Just make sure that when you present yourself, that you are presenting your best self. Because I mean, I'm an instructor as well, and because I'm an English instructor, I look at the way that an email is presented. It has something to do with my connection with the student.
So, Carrie, you've been here at HUC for a little bit over 10 years.
Oh my
So
gosh, no, 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 wait.
yes, you've been here longer than I've been at the college.
Wow, yeah, yeah, I guess so. Wow.
So you've been in English faculty. You've been a completion and retention specialist over in completion
Mhm.
services. You've been on our team now for this is what 4 years now? Is it four?
4 or something like that.
Close to it.
Yeah, maybe 5. No, is it 5? No. Yeah, okay.
But prior to coming to the college, so you've worked in publishing and editing. You taught elementary school, so
Yes, I
this
did.
is some of those skills might be coming back right now.
Yes, every now and then.
You're also a proud alumnus of Spelman College.
Yes, I am. Alumna. Yes, I am.
I'm shocked that you're not wearing a Spelman shirt right now.
I thought about it and I thought, I don't know if they'll even see all the Spellmans. So I'm like, I'll go.
And then I know that you also, went to University of Chicago for one of your
Mhm.
masters and then American. So what else should we know about you?
Um, I am a mom, which I'm sure anybody who's known me for 5 seconds knows. Hopefully they will not come in during this time. We'll see. The door's closed, so I can't guarantee. Um, I truly love Howard Community College. I actually started off at a community college from Michigan, and my mother was the director of financial aid at Lake Michigan College. And so all the way growing up, she was at the college. So that's all I knew was going to the community college. I remember sitting in her office. I remember not figuring out financial aid because I was a little young. But I just also remember every time I went anywhere in our hometown, up to this day, if I go home, someone would say, "Oh, Miss Coleman, how are you?" And they thank her for just helping them and changing their lives. And so that's something I remember that sticks out to me.
Awesome. So, being in our team here in Trio, what do you do?
I am, well, officially tutoring and completion specialist and advisor. And so I get you through. That's basically, if I had to put it simply, I do tutoring, although I'm English. I don't just do English. I have helped students with, and the writing part, I'm not, but sociology, psych. I'm also education because one of my master's degrees is in teaching. So I can help if you're an education major. I have a few of those that are with me. Um, I help with anything reading, writing related. I try and set up a schedule that I think works for each individual student. So I kind of get to know the students and who they are, and then what works with them and their lifestyles and what they have going on at home, what kind of job they have if they have kids, so that something works so that we can finish it and finish it well.
Okay. So, I know that you still teach English classes every few semesters.
Yes.
So how does the work as an instructor intersect with the work you do for our Trio students?
I think it works so well. I almost wish like everyone on staff could be teaching. I'm sure they would love that. Sorry.
Oh, we're gonna work on that. Uh, Stephanie and Rashad
Oh
might be
yeah.
watching on YouTube. Just a reminder, we're gonna work on that one.
I think it really works well. And I've heard from students that they like it because we know what's kind of the other side of it. So when I do get students, I'm teaching in the fall, I believe. But if I do get a student, I kind of have that advising thing in my head and think, okay, I know you're taking English 121 because you have to, but what can we do with that to make it so that you want to, and so that you take 121 on to whatever class you're taking? Because I think it's pivotal.
So, you've been teaching 121 a lot. Like that's been the class you've been teaching
Yeah,
for the last few
it
years.
has.
If you could teach any course at the college in the upcoming semester, what would you want to teach? Or better yet, even the class you want to create.
I would create a class. See, I get excited about my specialization in my first master's degree was African American studies, but it was very specialized. It was African American literature in the early 20th century, early to mid. I did Harlem Renaissance, and I still want to study like how did the Harlem Renaissance occur, and there are some great books. Stony the Road, actually, by Henry Louis Gates Jr. is great and really goes into how did we create this Harlem Renaissance, but just the literature that came out of that. And I think that's why I did studies, because not just the literature, but the artwork that came out of it, the music. If you think back to that 20s and 30s New York, you think of all of the wonderful music that came out of that, and all of it came together to be this expression and this representation of the new African American, new Negro, if you want to, like W.B. Du Bois as well said.
You have me thinking. So I took a history of jazz class when I was
Ah,
undergrad, and in that same semester with history of jazz, it was also a political science course, Blacks in the American Political South,
mm-hmm.
along with the history of hip hop. And so for the first
Cool.
part of of that semester, all three classes really follow that same pathway of how do we create this space in America. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and even though we were talking about the political South, we still talked about the impact of Black political power as it rose in Harlem and during that Renaissance period. So, could we create the class? Or
Oh, that would be exciting. I would do it in a second.
I mean, I'm just thinking through just all those things that just flooded back to me during that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and really, we never really figured out why it happened. It was like the perfect storm of things that
It was. we're coming out of Jim Crow. We're kind of in it, but we're coming out of, Reconstruction and what happened there. And just Stony the Road, I just finished it. I'm going into a different one, but the end of that, he really, Dr. Gates talks about why we had to. It's almost like we did, but we had to because there was so much misrepresentation in the media back then. And that, was put in place as soon, 1865, as soon as we got 13, 14, 15 amendments. Now, okay, so there was, this narrative that wasn't ours, and we had to reclaim. One of my professors at Spelman, love her, Dr. Gloria Wade Gales, she would always say, claim your space. And we had to basically do that. We had to claim our space.
And I'm going off script just a little bit. As we're
Okay.
thinking about this current new not normal, do you think
Yeah,
there's a space for people to claim? Do you think there's a possibility for a new version of a renaissance, for Black folk, or for just our country in general, if you want to go that direction too?
I definitely think there is. I think it's needed again, especially with the current administration. Might be needed to have that true narrative, because I feel that we're being, again, misrepresented. That's happened. And for some reason, it's now socially accepted. And we need to understand that there are many different definitions, but it's our definition to, give. But yeah, I like that idea though. That's a good class. Maybe do something about that.
Well, we can call Dr. Garraway about that, or better yet,
Maybe
we can see what's already in the English 206 class, because we do have the African American literature course.
we do.
So I'm wondering what those outcomes are.
I'm leaving history alone to Terrell, doctor, or why I call him doctor.
Because
He's watching.
he's gonna get that doctorate.
Yeah.
Trail Bratcher, you're going to
Yeah.
get your doctorate in something. If you're watching or not, I might text him in a second. Um, so thinking about all the stuff you've done, you've been an editor, you've been an elementary school teacher, you've written. Um, what brings you to this place and now? And are there any highlights from just the things you've done before this point that truly influence the way you work with our students now?
Good question. I think, first off, I'm so thankful every day that I get to go. And I get up early. And even though I get up early, I'm so thankful every day that I get to come or to HCC, or virtually HCC now. um, I think that everything that I've done has played into exactly where I am. I feel like God takes us on these pathways, and sometimes we don't quite understand them, and we don't know why we're in a certain place. But when we get a little farther along the path, we think, oh, I'm glad I had that experience. Me as an elementary school teacher, yeah, no. That was a good time though, because it taught me how to deal with different dynamics, how to schedule. So, I was in publishing before the teaching, but when I was in publishing, I liked the writing, but I didn't feel like I was giving enough. When I was in the teaching, I liked it, but I didn't feel like I was connecting enough. It's hard for me to connect to 9-year-olds, except for mine. That's because I can, threaten them. But
He's watching, so he should know that this is.
if he is, he better watch and then get back to what I told him to do. But I think this is the perfect place. I truly love the teaching in the classroom at HCC. I truly love the advising and tutoring with the students. I love trio. Like, it's funny because even then when I was teaching, I went to Dr. Garraway and said, I wish I knew more, or I wish I could stay with them longer than just one semester and make sure they're okay. And she just happened to tell me, oh, they have a position over in completion, which was retention back then. And so that's how I got over there. And then, I got to know you and what Trio was, and I love it. So I think everything that I've gone through hopefully helps the students, because I truly want them all to succeed.
And we see that every day. And the students who work with you, when they come see us, they tell us like they wouldn't have made it without you. And
Oh,
it's like it's it everyone, not everybody who comes to do this work does it for the right reasons. And it's evident every day that you come in that you're doing it for the right reasons. You do it because you want to see students grow, learn. Um, Sometimes you want to, you may want to, drop kick a student, but
yes. There have been those
still
moments.
smile, you help me pursue them. And then I think about drop kicking them instead.
Out
Um,
of love. We always want to drop kick out of love.
Always out of love, always.
Always out of love.
Um, so you talked about Nolan a little bit, saying that I know he's watching and he should be doing some work. And
Yes, I hope he is.
and many of us in our team have met your family, including your children. So how has your background helped you get ready for this experience running your own homeschool right now?
For those students out there, for those people working out there that have children, good gracious. God bless you. It's, I think, helpful though, because my son, he's 11 now and he's in 6th grade. I basically just gave him 121. So he knows about ethos, pathos, logos. We're working on that. And I gave him one of my Norton anthologies, like, okay, here you go. And although he did tell me, I love you, mama, but the math is kind of lacking. Like, I know it's not my thing. But again, because I was education, now they're on a strict schedule. So when I finish something, I tell them in the morning, like I have this meeting, because I'm on Zoom most every day, all the day too. And hopefully they're learning. I hear them. I hope you don't hear them.
Nope, I don't hear
Okay.
them, but I do believe that they're doing. I believe they're learning and doing what they need to do. That's my hope.
Pray. Yeah. We'll see. If not, then you'll hear about it.
But as I've talked to students, I've shared what you talked about, how you structure your day for your children, and it's interesting just because I don't have kids. Um, so in my mind, I'm like, maybe I need to structure my day like this.
The
But
structure. It's good.
it's amazing what you're doing and trying to balance all that. So doing what you need to do for your family, but then also continue to support our students. It's I don't really know how you do it. First of all, I don't know how you get up that early.
I'm an early bird, but at 9 o'clock, you can't get in touch with me. I'm
That's
asleep.
correct. At 9 o'clock yesterday, I was in the middle of working on diversity work.
So
And at 12 something, I forgot what I was doing. I
yeah,
just,
you're busy.
but also, as I think about our team, I also love the fact that like you are the early person. Like I know if I need to send a student to see you, I'm like, hey, you could do an 8:30 appointment because
Yeah, I can do it 8:30.
know I can do the flip side. So as we're thinking about, your total time at the college,
Mhm.
and all the work you've done with students, the work you've done on various committees, what stands out to you about the growth and achievement of your students along their pathway to completion?
I have certain students. Oh, I just get so excited, and it truly touches me. The growth that I've seen. I've had one student who's graduating this semester. Yay, Kayla. Um, the growth that I see in sort of like, I'm here, but I'm not sure why. And then they find their why. And then they just blossom in their why. And then they continue on to what it is that they found that has become their passion. So I think that's drives me on. That, what I love to see a student who is like whatever about it, and then all of a sudden they have a schedule in their phone They know that they're gonna study for 30 minutes on, 10 minutes off, because I'm a big one on that. Tell my students that. Or whatever, if you do 2 hours on, 1 hour off, whatever, please do that. But, that I guess I don't know if that answered your question, but
It does. It does a bit.
a
I
bit.
I want to let me change around just a little bit.
Okay.
Because I'm getting to the point now of realizing that our students are watching this. Um, do you have a student that you really just want to shout out by name, like just like you saw them make to this point in the pathway, and you're like, oh my god, like this is my other child.
Yes. Oh, there's so many. I hope I don't forget them. But Kayla, because you're graduating, I'm so proud of you. Don't let me stop before I cry. Keisha, just had a meeting with her this morning. Mary, who has already gone on to UB, but I am so proud of you for going on, and she is doing well. I still keep in touch with her, so yeah, she's good. Um, I have many more in my head, but I'm like, oh, I'm gonna forget people, and people will be mad.
And here's the funny part: I don't think a lot of our students realize that the relationship that we built here continues after they leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
It
think a lot
does.
of people I don't think a lot of people in the college understands, and the work that we do is when they walk across the stage, that's the beginning of a whole new relationship and a whole new piece.
Mm-hmm.
And
Jordan, I have only had him for a semester, but wow, I've already seen growth. So go, Jordan. Sorry.
so, as a reminder to our students, as Trio alums, talk to us. We're still here.
We
Uh,
are.
we'll still help you, or in some cases, they help us. It's really kind of cool when the tables turn,
Mm-hmm.
and they can come back and help us. Before I get to this or that, so Rashad put a couple things in he really wanted
Oh,
me to ask. So I'm
okay.
gonna ask one of them now, and then
Hey,
I'm gonna ask
Rashad.
a little bit later. Um, so you went to Spelman, and we didn't talk
Yes, I
about this
did.
one yet.
Oh, we
Um,
gotta talk about Spelman.
well, first of all, why Spelman, and then what for students who are looking about transfer, especially our women, what was the benefit of going to a single gender institution?
Spelman was a blessing. I loved every moment of it. I said that I started off at a community college as well because it was free. Honestly, my mother worked there. I was kind of upset that I couldn't go off, like everybody else in my high school at first. But I'm glad I did stay at Lake Michigan because I was going to be an architect. Yeah, no. The first math class, I'm like, oh no, this isn't my life. So Spelman then became an option for me because, it was liberal arts. It is liberal arts. I highly recommend any woman that wants to go to Spelman come talk to me. It is a place that challenges you, not just academically, but spiritually. It challenges you intellectually. The women at Spelman College are phenomenal. I mean, Stacey Abrams was my classmate. So, um,
And she's awesome.
yeah. And she was awesome in class too. I'm like, wow, I mean, be quiet. Like, go ahead and talk, Stacey. But just it was as a single gender, I never noticed it. I think that it helped that I was surrounded by Black women because coming from where I was from, Black, oh, you had to be Black in order to this is the one definition of Blackness. Oh, I don't fit that. So, well, you're not Black then, but at Spelman, you see everything. And there is no one definition. And I think that sisterhood helps me and gave me confidence. I went to University of Chicago after that, which is a PWI, as we know. And I needed that time at my HBCU around my women to strengthen me when I went to Chicago. And I will say, even though Chicago is, whatever, I was more challenged at Spelman than I was at University of Chicago, intellectual.
And I say that about my experience at A&T. Why do you feel that?
I think because they're not afraid to poke at you, prod you, say, especially from not just the students, but the instructors, they love you. I mean, I went back last year, Dr. Harper, who is retiring this year, Donna Harper. She knew exactly who I was. If I went back to Chicago, they'd say, "Oh, you went here? Okay." It's that love, it's the family, it's that connection you make. And especially because we're all women. And honestly, I mean, I think maybe some people are thinking, "Oh, you only saw, women for 4 years." No, I would go across the parking lot to Morehouse, across the street to Clark. I took classes at Morehouse. I would always get A's in the classes at Morehouse. So,
Did you take any classes at Morris Brown?
I didn't. I had friends at Morris Brown. That was a longer walk, but I had friends from Morris Brown, and we would always connect
Do you miss
out in the
Atlanta?
yard on Friday.
Do
Mm,
you miss being in Atlanta?
not really. I mean, I love Spelman. I moved back to Atlanta for a minute after I graduated Chicago. I was like, yeah, no, but Atlanta's good. Just, I think I'm more a northern girl.
So think about these things. I'm gonna get to my favorite segment that I've been putting in the show, this or that. So since we're talking about Spelman, this is a debate that's out there. And since we're
Okay.
A&T, I had to hear this from Bennett Bells all the time.
Oh,
Who's really Morehouse's sister school, Spelman or?
don't do that. Officially, it's Bennett. However, Morehouse is right across the parking lot. So, when you get there, I missed this because I missed freshman year, but you get a Morehouse brother, Spelman sister. I grabbed a Morehouse brother when I got there sophomore year. Like, okay, you're my Morehouse brother. But so politically correct.
I found it interesting. I was like, how are they the official school and y'all in Green?
No, I know. I, well,
I haven't figured that one out yet. Um, so we're talking about the AUC, and I know you're a pescatarian.
yes.
So this question may make sense, it may not. What was the bigger day on campus? Fried chicken Wednesday or whatever day they did fried chicken, or fried fish Fridays?
You know what? When I was at Spelman, that's when I finally cut off the meat fully, but I do remember the fried chicken. I remember the wings. There were 25-cent wings across the street every Friday night. So I have to say, maybe the fried chicken for those that partake.
Okay. So as I'm, we're thinking out outdoors and all this, and if it ever reopens, we've already said we're gonna do a cookout and a fish fry. Sean, if you're watching, we're gonna figure out how to get sustainability Bob to let us do it on campus.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
right.
so when we get the grease hot, are you going for the whiting or for the catfish?
Whiting. Love whiting. Whiting. All day. Unless, like, that catfish, it's got to be fried
I
or
mean, it all
cornmeal.
fried. I mean,
I mean,
we're gonna put Rashad in front of the fryer. Look, I'm gonna put Sean on the grill. I'm gonna put Rashad on the fryer. I'm just gonna oversee. I got my whole uncle cookout attire ready.
whiting with white bread. R.I.P. Horace and Dickies.
They're still open. I mean, you got the locations at
It's
Tacoma
not
and the
the
one in Allentown.
official. That's not the okay.
Well, since you're talking about Horace and Dickies, U Street or H Street?
Oh, please, you. Well, wait. Now, you know what? I lived in DC back before when U Street was a little scary. I like that U Street, the scary U Street.
When you say scary, define scary.
I loved it. It was um it was you never knew what to expect. It was not big box.
True.
It was unique.
And I find that to be the issue now between both of them. I think U Street still has a little more of a vibe to it.
Yeah, I like the vibe.
There's still that little bit of independence compared to H Street. Um,
Yeah, H Tree was like, I mean,
I mean, as a resident of East of the River, H Street is still accessible for me.
yeah.
Um, So we know you like to exercise also.
Yes, I do.
You're probably the most fit one of our team right now. Like if someone we had to have a fight, I'm calling you first.
Oh no.
Um, so once outdoor opens again, so we got this cookout planned. Where's the first place you see yourself going? Do you see yourself going back to Orange Theory first, or on a run through the park?
I miss Orange Theory so much. I go like 4 times a week. I miss my people. We're on a chat. I'll do Orange Theory and then I'll go for my run.
Do both on the same day?
I could do it. I've done it before. The run is not as successful after Orange Theory, but
I would bet. I'm 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 always first of all, for the record. I think me and Rashad are happy that this whole thing happened because we were able to
yeah,
postpone our Orange Theory.
you were supposed to come. You
one
missed it.
one day. So you're from Michigan.
Hmm.
You're from way up north,
No, from like right there.
close.
Right there.
You're not from Detroit. For
No, Detroit's
people
over
like me,
here.
for people like me, when I hear about Michigan, I hear and think about Detroit.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody does.
and I'm still gonna go to Detroit for this moment. So Saturday, the Clark Sisters movie came out on Lifetime.
Yeah,
Um,
missed
and I know you sing in the choir.
it. I do.
Um, so if you had to sing one of the Clark sisters' parts, would it be Karen or Dorinda?
Which one is the quietest one in the back?
First of all, we're talking about the Clark sisters. Ain't none of them quiet
I
as
know
cat.
none of them are quiet.
And if that's the case, we're talking about Jackie, because Jackie's
Yeah,
probably the most
that's
of the
true.
laid back one compared to him. But we're talking about alto and soprano, Karen or Dorinda.
Dorinda.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Um, so I know Nolan was watching a little bit earlier.
Oh, he
Um,
was?
yeah,
Oh, hi,
he,
baby.
he chatted in the chat box
He loves to do that.
um and so you have two children. Who do you feel has the most energy, Nolan or Yaya?
And Nolan knows this. Yaya. Everybody who meets Yaya knows. Yaya. It's like, Yaya, come, bring it down, baby. Because I'm a little like, a little more mellow. And she's like, but we love her energy. We're happy that she's so excited about everything.
Yes, I have Yaya's pictures in my office, which I miss.
Yeah,
I miss not being in my office.
me too.
I miss my windows.
Yeah.
I
I
know
think
this.
I just heard her laugh. They are watching. I hear her right now. She's screaming. I'm sorry.
And so the last one I want to plug out there is and I think this one, I don't know if it came from Rashad or it came from Stephanie. Um, you know, from a musical standpoint, um, if you had to choose Anita Baker or Jill Scott.
That's hard.
I
It's
know,
like,
that's why we do these.
how can, Anita is, and Jill. I don't know how to choose. Dang. Jill, maybe?
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see
maybe Jill.
good because I still got Anita.
Yeah, you can take Anita, I'll take Jill.
So I want to go back because we had a couple other questions, and I'm also just for those who are watching. First of all, thank you, Nolan.
What did
He
you say,
even
ma'am?
said it's not even a question.
It's
Uh,
not.
so so thank you for that one. Um, so for our friends who are watching this on YouTube, if you have questions, put them in the chat box. We'll get to them before we wrap up. But I do want to go back to one of the questions that was given ahead of time. How has moving to the DMV changed your outlook on life?
How has it changed my outlook on life? I feel like a lot of the places I've come, I sort of came there and said, I didn't think about DMV. I wanted to move to a cool place. I was in my 20s. It's changed my outlook in that I don't know if it has actually. I miss water though. Where I'm from, I'm a stone's throw from water, a little farther away. Changed my outlook. There's a lot. I like being around the people that I am. I love my neighborhood, my neighbors,
You
being this close to DC.
you really have some cool neighbors.
Yeah, they're cool.
Very cool neighbors. And so then thinking about this one, if you could do one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Can I go to Aruba?
Yeah.
Okay. I would do what I'm doing in Aruba. There you go.
So we need to look for jobs at the University of Aruba.
Yeah.
So why Aruba? Like what makes Aruba so special?
I got it in my head a few years ago that I wanted to go to Aruba, and I get kind of determined when I get something in my head. So I went, and I was supposed to go with a friend of mine, and she backed out. So I went anyway, all by myself to Aruba. Best trip I ever had. Um, Something about Aruba, I call it my spirit home. I don't know what it is about Aruba. You got the water, the people, the sunsets, the food. I told you need to go.
It's on my list. You
You're
know,
gonna go.
you gotta remember, outdoors are not open. I mean,
I know, but when it opens, then Brandon's gonna go. Everybody,
yes. So we put it on tape that I will be going to Aruba.
yes.
Um, so sorry to my friends in Puerto Rico. The way my checking and savings is set up, I only can do one island. So I'll be looking for Aruba sooner rather than later now.
Aruba.
Um, I don't have any new questions from our friends on YouTube.
Okay.
What questions you have for me? Because I know that I like turning the tables on me at times. I'm a black.
Okay. So, how do you think? That's probably a bad question, but how do you think? I like all the changes that have happened with Trio. I guess you and I are the two old heads in the room. Me, a lot older than you.
Are we sure? Because real talk, some people don't know how old you are. They think I'm the old one. And I'm like, oh,
I'm older. I say I don't want to think about like put Stephanie and Rashad together, but not give my age away. How do you feel about the changes? I like it. But
you know,
I miss, of course, Linda and Joan.
I am. I'm loving the shift in energy. I really, I'll say this. I miss Linda every day. I don't know how she kept all of these regs and all the organization. Like, I miss that. I miss Linda. I also miss having Joan around because what Joan brought to the table was a lot of institutional knowledge, but then her lived experience, just everything that she's done
Hmm.
and how she engages her students. Um, I do try to take from that. I try to take from that level of energy because she'll do whatever she could for any student.
She
Uh,
would.
and so thinking about when we made these two new hires, we're never going to replace the energy of the people who came before them. Like, but we wanted to at least move the program in a direction where we're comfortable and ready for what's going to happen next. I'm really excited that Stephanie Rashad, hadn't been that entrenched in the program when we had to move to a all remote environment because it now
Mm-hmm.
allows them to reimagine or not even reimagine, imagine what they want to do, and then try to pilot it, do some things, and then report back and say, okay, hey, I tried X, Y, Z. X worked, Y didn't work, but Z has some potential. Um, and so, I'm really excited about the fact that I can do that. Um, I'm also really thankful that many of our students are adjusting relatively well to this new remote space.
Hmm.
Um, I do dislike the fact that they will not make appointments to see me. Like, I need a little bit of structure because if I'm home and I have nothing to do outside of just sending some emails and working some papers and thinking about my dissertation, um, I'm not gonna do anything. So I do want the appointments, but I do love the fact that they are willing just to drop in during my drop-in hours. So I do know as this trial and error, we're gonna probably do more drop-in hours, just because students pop in. And I've learned so much. I saw by the end of the day yesterday, what was it, about 7 or 8 students just in drop-in.
Oh, that's good.
And so it was just good to hear from them, hear about some of their challenges, but then also hear about just their successes. Some of our students
Yeah.
are getting into school. So I know Javier got accepted to Towson. Kelly got into College Park. Um, and she has tomorrow her interview for the Douglas Scholarship. So I'm really hoping that she gets it.
Oh, I'm very so.
Hoping. I talked about Jandra earlier,
Hmm.
but like hearing from my students, hearing their successes, there's a lot of good in the midst of just darkness.
Yeah.
And
Jada is doing like amazing, and she's going to be leaving us too, which is a good thing.
like
Yeah.
I get excited when they leave us. Um,
Yeah.
it's because I really want our students to grow. I really want our students also to leave Maryland. I know that's not
Yeah.
always possible. I need them to leave. Because
Spelman is great, y'all. I'm just saying.
we were going to make it this year. We were so
I know we were gonna go.
we were so close this year. But there's a lot. There's a lot still that's going to happen. There's a lot that still can do. Um, I was going to say that, like I had a thought,
Let me say,
and then the bubble just went away. Um, I know
was it about the students?
it was about a student,
Spelman?
not a woman, no, no, it was
Okay.
about a student. Um, oh, is thinking about students who have graduated and who's gone on. Uh,
Hmm.
I do want to shout out Lene. So I'm thinking about when I started. So I've been working in Trio for 7 years. And so now we're seeing students at this point who did their 2 years, earned their associates, did their 2 to 3 years at their bachelor's degree program, and now these are students who are graduating from grad school. Um,
Wow.
so I'm starting, I'm feeling sometimes a little bit like John at this point. I'm starting to see the life cycle happen.
Hmm.
You saw a student who never thought they were going to go to grad school. First of all, never thought they were going to go to college. So, we had to warm them up to the idea, hey, welcome to college.
Hmm.
Get involved. Let's grow some. And then they like, oh, I can do this college thing. They go get their bachelor's degree, and then they turn back around and say, hey, so, you were talking about grad school all the time. Can you tell me more?
Yeah.
So I'm loving to seeing this piece, and I think it's, you know, my colleagues in the field always wonder, like, why do you need to have a master's degree to be a hall director? Why do you need a master's degree to be an academic advisor? And I'm in my mind, I'm like, there's some skills you learn in your graduate program, yes. But I think for students who've never seen anybody or never had a personal relationship with somebody who went to grad school, we're probably the closest they ever get. And so we can actually talk and connect with students about what our experiences are, what our ups,
Mm.
our downs, and make it real for them. Like, hey, this is why we did this, and we know you can do it because if I could do it, I know you could do it.
Yes,
So yeah,
definitely. Fully agree. Grad school is wonderful, especially if you do transfer to the HBCU. The grad school is wonderful. It opens doors, it teaches you resilience, it teaches you that grit that you need nowadays.
yeah, because it's hard,
Yeah.
but we're gonna make it.
Yeah, of course.
And one day we're gonna make it back on campus
Yes, one
and
day.
to the end of the hallway. I met um, our students don't know this, but as a team, we talk every day. And I remember Rashad asked, like, how'd you come up with this name? I'm like, well, when we tell students to come find us, we tell them to go to the end of the hallway.
Mm-hmm. We're all there.
So, friends who are watching on YouTube and all that, we miss y'all. We're gonna see
We
y'all
do.
soon. If you have questions, feedback, anything, please email us, trio@howardcc.edu. If you got friends who are eligible for TRIO, email trio@howardcc.edu. We will still do an intake online.
Yes.
We want you to be part of our family. Um, hey, Stephanie. Hey, Rashad. I know that y'all see
Hey.
you're doing work. We miss y'all today. We're going to give them their own episode, let them interview somebody.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Ooh,
What?
we could get them to interview like one of their mentors from the undergrad.
That would be cool.
That would be really dope.
Oh, I could get Dr. Harper or Dr. Gales.
That would be really awesome. Go ahead and call them.
I will. I will.
So that's our show for today. We're gonna post in Canvas when our next episodes are, as we're literally on the fly building these things. So I want to thank all of our students because we're literally building and refining an online environment every day. And I just want to thank Cari for taking time out of your busy schedule. We've
Well,
been on
thank
Zoom for
you.
like 2 hours now.
Yeah.
I'll see you again at 3:30.
Yep, I'll see you again. I got one after this. Okay.
Um, but just remember, friends, there are 3 S's in success. Peace.
Bye.
Cari. Oh.